Next, the high school winter sports season has begun. We talk to coaches and captains to get the inside scoop. The December 18th edition of Headliner starts now. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to this special edition of Headliner. I'm Jess Burton, and welcome to our annual MHS Winter Sports Preview Show. It certainly doesn't feel like the winter season is here, with 60-degree days, no snow on the ground yet, and the town parking ban already in effect. We seem to be stuck in a limbo period between fall and winter as the holidays close in on us. And while we wait to bring out boots and shovels, our student athletes are getting their skates sharpened, their skis waxed, and begging their parents for the newest $200 pair of LeBrons as an early holiday gift. And one team that wouldn't mind to continue running on the dry ground outside is the boys' track team. But to these high schoolers, it doesn't matter where or on what they run, they just lace up and go. Both MHS track teams are comprised of some of the best runners in the Northeast, proven by their dominance in cross country during the fall. The boys' runners that make the transition indoors are joined by some talented soccer players, football players, and other athletes to make a team that should have what it takes to get back to the top of the NEC and make some noise in states. All right, Jeff, how's the team looking this year?
We got a lot of returning talent. Hopefully we can compete at a high level. We got a lot of goals this year. Hopefully we can fulfill those goals, and it'll be a good season.
All right, what are your individual goals?
Well, actually, I might be injured this season, so
team goals. What are your team goals then?
To support the team as much as possible. Especially the hurdlers, my squad. We'll have a good year.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
What have you been doing as captains, like captains practices, to get ready for the season?
So in preparation for the season, we ran captains practices for about 2 weeks prior, and up until the Thanksgiving break, because right after Thanksgiving break we come into the season. And in this past week and a half or so, we've really been just getting together as a team, starting to separate into our, where we run, what we do, our throwing events and everything, and we look like we're ready for the season. So here we go.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
AJ, you're one of the top cross-country runners in the state. What's it like transitioning from outdoors to indoors?
Well, there's actually not a whole really big difference, just a little bit more speed because the distances are a little bit shorter that we race.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
Congratulations on a good cross-country season, too.
Thank you.
All right, and Brian,
Yep.
Who do you think is going to be your toughest competition this year? You're a thrower, so in the special teams category, let's say.
I think Beverly or Peabody, definitely. They got a lot of talent all around, and they've come to compete in the past. So, I mean, they were our biggest competition last year. So there's no doubt that they're going to come to play this year.
And you guys are usually everybody else's biggest competition. You guys are usually pretty dominant in conference. How can you get back to the top this year?
I mean, we got most of our top performers are coming back, so there's not much we have to change. I mean, shot put, we lost our best thrower, Dan Marino, but there's so many younger kids who have stepped up, and I think we're going to be fine this year.
All right, have a good season.
Thanks.
The girls' track team went undefeated last winter, posting a 7-0 record. So without much area for improvement, I asked the captains what they can do to go 7-0 again. They said if they can maintain sharp focus and determination, they will once again be the team to beat.
I think we're looking very strong. We're coming from an undefeated season last season, most of the same athletes. I think the only thing stopping us from succeeding as well as last year is ourselves, so we need to keep focused, keep trying, and keep doing well.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Alyssa, you guys are always really competitive and at the top of your conference. How can you get back to the top of the conference this year?
Yeah, I think just us continuing to work hard, doing the workouts to the best of our abilities, and really just putting our all into our workouts and staying on track.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Jillian, you guys graduated a lot of players last year, or a lot of runners last year. Who are you looking forward to as your teammates to step up this year and do some good things?
This year we have a lot of new runners who were new last year who are returning, and I think we can expect to see, from a distance standpoint, Lily Gillis really stepped up. She's had a great cross-country season, as well as Eve Rice, too, in the middle distance.
Who are you looking forward to competing against the most this year?
I'm really looking forward to our meet this Thursday, which is against Beverly. Although they're an out-of-conference meet, we haven't competed against them since freshman year, so it'll be really interesting to kind of switch up the competition, and they're always fun to go against.
And what are your expectations as a whole for the team this year?
We're looking really great. We definitely lost some talent this year, but we have new people stepping up, so I expect that we'll have the same great turnout that we have in the past few years, which is doing well in our conference and at the state level.
All right, good luck. Thanks.
Thank you.
The Black and Blue Co-op Wrestling Team combines athletes from both Marblehead and Swampscott. Now, they may have a small group of guys on the team, but they are thinking big about their chances this winter. I caught up with assistant coach Mike Stamison as well as Black and Blue captains Brett Resnick from Marblehead and Stephen Hopkins from Swampscott for their thoughts on how they plan to pin down the competition and what it's like to combine strength with your rival town.
How's the team looking this year?
Young, very young team. We returned 2 of our captains, though, 2 of our better guys, and the guys we expect the most out of our captain, junior at 138 pounds, Stephen Hopkins, and senior captain Brett Resnick at 126 pounds. I look for them to either win the section or be darn close. They've come a long way. They both did a lot of off-season work, something that's just so key in every sport nowadays, but especially wrestling. Just that mat time is so important.
What else have you guys been doing in the off-season to get ready?
Well, like I mentioned, those 2, they wrestle out with Metro West. It's a club out in Lincoln Sudbury with Coach Nick Avery. A lot of the guys did a lot of weightlifting, too. A lot of guys came bigger. A lot of guys came in pretty good shape. So we look to compete right out of the gate.
And who are some wrestlers besides Brett and Steven that you think will step up this year?
I'm expecting big things from Joe Warren. He's made a lot of improvements. Also, Joe being a junior from Swampscott at 182 pounds this year. Ian Chevry also we look for big things from. He's a Marblehead kid. He's a sophomore at 106 pounds.
I mean, I think it's looking the best that it has looked since I've been on a member of the team. We got kids who've been doing off season. We got good numbers. We got new coaches, just like new everything. New mats again. It's looking awesome.
What are your individual goals for this season? You had a good season last year.
Yeah, this year I'm definitely looking to win the section, hopefully place in Division III in the state, and have a 85% winning percentage, maybe higher.
And what are the team goals this year?
Team goals, I think we definitely want to go out with a positive record as far as dual meets going, have a couple guys place in every tournament we wrestle in, and just not see kids get pinned. Watch kids fight for the whole match, 6 minutes.
All right, Brett, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Stephen, what's it like having Swampscott and Marblehead team up to take on the rest of the conference?
Well, I really like it because it takes both towns, which are very similar, and it puts them together. I mean, we look at each other like enemies during the football game, but in reality, we're more neighbors than enemies.
And what match are you looking forward to? It can't be Swampscott because you're on Swampscott's team this year, sorta. So
Right,
what match?
Swampscott,
So what match are you looking forward to?
I'm looking for the NEC Brawl this weekend. That's a real first competition, so I really can't wait to see that go down.
And tell me a little bit about the joint school program, how that works, and if it's tough getting the kids to come to the practices, the joint practices.
It can be. I mean, when I was in high school, it was never an issue. I mean, we had a very dedicated crew of wrestling kids that would, and we used to practice in Marblehead, obviously, when Swampscott now. So it's tougher recruiting in the school that doesn't host the mats, of course. But we get a dedicated crew, and we'll have Brett. We'll go to Marblehead every day and pick up some of the kids. So it's a tightly knit group, and the kids that are here, they work hard, and it doesn't matter to me if we have 50 kids or 10 kids, as long as they are kids that want to learn. That's what's important to me and the staff.
You guys are missing some weight classes like you are last year. What are your overall expectations for the team in the weight classes that you do have?
In the weight classes I do have, I mean, we're always going to be a tournament team. We're not going to beat, maybe a Chelmsford or, even a Danvers in the NEC is really tough this year with 2 returning state champions. I want quality over quantity, and I want to be a good tournament team and qualify. We got anywhere between 10 and 12 healthy bodies at any time. I could see 4 or 5 qualifying for the state tournament, with hopefully Hopkins and Resnick going a little bit further. But really, just quality and just good, solid kids who are dedicated to the sport and to sportsmanship.
And you just mentioned Danvers. They got those 2 returning studs. Who else?
Holland brothers. Yeah.
Yes, the Holland brothers. Who else in the conference is going to be tough for you guys to beat?
It's a down year, I think, for a lot of the NEC. We lost. I mean, Salem had 3 really good seniors that they graduated from last year in Duffy, Byers, and Kayla Brown. Saugus has always got some tough kids. I mean, it's just the NEC is getting better, especially Danvers is really leading the charge there. But Gloucester always has some tough, strong kids coming from the fishing boats in the summer. Again, Salem, Saugus, some tough kids. So it's where we lack maybe in talent as opposed to like the Merrimack Conference with North Andover, Lowell, Billerica. We've got smaller teams, but we get some tough kids in the NEC. We really do.
The swim team may have lost some key swimmers to graduation, but they have always seemed to have the depth to fill those spots with a mix of seasoned upperclassmen and talented newcomers. If the Magicians want to repeat last year's undefeated season, they'll need to rely on that depth to get them past a strong Beverly team come January.
Well, I think we're going to have another good year. Beverly is going to be spectacular this year because they have a Olympic trials swimmer on their team this year. She's the senior. But I think we have the depth, at least I'm hoping, and we certainly have the divers, which Beverly doesn't usually have strong divers. So some of the returning people, certainly Kylie Cronin, Grace McGuire, Megan Hathaway, Ellie Ronan, Zach Michaels, and Michael Kaminsky came out this year. He's a senior, and he has swum for the Y for numerous years, so that's good. It'll be another strong male. And we also have the top divers, Ryan Driscoll, and I always get the twins mixed up. Katie Walker is the diver, and they should be very, very good this year. So, and we also have a new male diver. Bennett is I believe a freshman, and he's come out to diving. So
things are looking really great this year. We've got a lot of good returning swimmers that we hope are really improving this year, and a lot of club swimmers as well. We're also looking forward to a lot of freshmen and other kids that are just joining the team this year that we're really looking forward to seeing how they can do.
How are things going in the preseason? What do you do to get ready for the season?
Before the season starts, we always run captain's practices about a month in advance. That's where we really get like a taste for like what the team's going to look like. We always have a lot of freshmen at those, so we get a good turnout. Basically, we're just preparing for what's to come and getting ready for a good season.
How does the schedule look this year? What are the teams you're looking forward to swimming against?
Well, obviously our biggest competitor in the NEC is Beverly. We always go pretty neck and neck with them, but we always seem to come up on top. Also, the Lynn English boys tend to give our boys a run for their money, but it should be interesting.
What are the goals for the team this year?
Our main goal is to win the NEC again and to win our dual meet against Beverly. This year could be a little tough with we graduated some good swimmers last year, but we have some good, we have big shoes to fill, but I think we have the people to fill them.
You always seem to have great depth on your team, and so when kids graduate, you always have people who can fill right in. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's because of the Y program, and certainly some of the kids come from the JCC too, so we have a great feeder program. I have probably 5, 6, or 7 swimmers this year who were 8th graders last year and who have moved into the high school, so that really helps a lot.
The ski team is always competitive in the Mass Bay Ski League East, and despite losing almost half of their team to graduation, coaches John Thompson and Tanis Meekin believe the team will stay competitive this season. That is, if it ever gets cold enough to snow.
Things look pretty good this year. We have a bunch of returners, and we have some really good up-and-coming freshmen.
Give us some names. Who's coming back to help the team out this year?
So we've lost probably half of our team. Half of our team graduated, but we have some great underclassmen coming up, including Will Thompson, who's a captain, and his younger brother Sam Thompson, who's on the way. We have a couple of new girls that we haven't seen ski yet, but we heard they ski up north and are supposed to be quite great.
How do you prepare for the season in a winter like this so far that has not had any real cold weather or any snow in the area?
We hope they can make snow at the mountains, but so far we've been a little bit on the unlucky side, so we've been resorting to dry land training, which we did some tonight in here in the cafeteria. We work out with energy within as well.
Okay. What types of things do you work on to get prepared for the season?
We spend a lot of energy working on core strength as well as quad and leg strength, working on balance drills. And I think we're also going to incorporate some video into our dryland training if we don't have an opportunity to get on snow soon.
How does the season go for the team? What types of things do you do over the season?
We have 8 to 10 races. 4 of them are slalom this year, and the rest are GS. And we ski at Ski Ward and Blue Hills in Canton.
What are some of the other teams in the league that you'll be facing this year?
So there are some teams that are very, very successful teams. Mostly, we have a mix from all over the 128 area. The Wellesley team is very strong. The Dover Sherborne team is strong. The Xaverian boys team is exceptionally strong. So it mixes from year to year, depending on who graduates.
How do you see Marblehead fitting into the league this year?
I think Marblehead's going to be really strong this year. We're in a very strong league the way it is with Dover Sherborne and Wellesley and Xaverian. I believe Xaverian were they second last year? Or were they champions?
I think they were state champions.
They were state champions. So we have a really strong, tough league. A lot of kids ski up north. But this year I feel that with all the up-and-coming underclassmen, a couple returning seniors or upperclassmen, we should be well positioned to do well.
The girls basketball team has posted back-to-back 12-win seasons and tournament appearances in Wayne Hanscom's first 2 years as head coach. In both those seasons, the girls were projected to not be nearly as competitive as they turned out to be, and that will once again be the case this season as the girls compete without a senior on the roster. Captains Lindsay Walker and Ashley Stiles in just their junior years have been with Coach Hanscom from the beginning, and they've gained his trust to be the leaders of the team this year. Defensively, the Magicians have always been good, which is an emphasis from the coaching staff. But last year, the offense struggled mightily, and that ended up being what hurt the Magicians down the stretch. Colby Shea, who was just a freshman, led the offense almost every game with just about 14 points. And with a team full of juniors already, with 2 years of tournament experience, if someone besides Colby can step up and score some points, look for this young Magicians team to be back in the tournament and right in the thick of things for an NEC title when the season ends.
We just had 2 scrimmages, one against Tewksbury that kind of beat us up a little bit, and Belmont a couple of days ago where the girls played real well, played just real good defense. We hit a bunch of shots, but as you know, we're a work in progress here. So,
what have you seen from the practices and the 2 scrimmages that you've had that you hope carries over into the regular season?
Intensity, energy. This is we have no seniors. This group here has been together since they've been freshmen. So we got a fair amount of juniors, and they work hard. They play together, and they want to win for one another.
And who are the junior captains that you've named that, what have they been doing to get the team ready to go?
Ashley Stiles, who's playing guard, is really coming along. And Lindsay Walker, who is our best rebounder on the team. Two tough girls, real good leaders, and we expect them to really be good leaders for us throughout the whole season.
All right, Lindsay, how's the team look this year?
It looks great. I mean, we're a young team, so we have a lot of energy too, and I think pressing a lot, we're going to be dynamite on defense.
What does being a captain mean to you? Or what does being a captain mean to you? How have you been getting the girls ready to go?
Just like improving the attitude, positive gameplay, and just uniting as a team, I guess.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Ashley, what are your goals for this season? You guys made it to the tournament last year. You're looking to get back?
Yep. Our goals are to stay positive and keep the intensity up, but also we want to be NEC champs and hopefully go undefeated.
To be NEC champs, you got to play a lot of good teams. What's the game you're most looking forward to this year?
Personally, I'm excited to beat Beverly because I want to get back at them from last year.
Anybody else?
Also, Revere is going to be a good game.
Yeah. What about Winthrop? They've been at the top of the conference the last couple of years.
Yeah, that will definitely be a big game too. But one of their key players got hurt, so we'll see how that goes.
I just think we're just a year older. Just a year older, a lot more experience. A lot more confidence. I think, and I think we're going to score a lot of points this year. I really do. We're going to run a lot. And I think the girls just are really playing with a lot of confidence.
Hopefully that one more year gets them the confidence that they need. Girls basketball, it's always kind of real tight in the conference. Who's going to be the team to beat this year?
Again, the team to beat is probably Winthrop, who went to the state semifinals and lost. They have a lot of girls back. And we had a meeting with the girls last night, and their goal is to win the conference and to win games in the tournament. And their big goal is to beat Winthrop.
The boys basketball team finished 500 last season, which was not what the team or the coaching staff expected. This year should be different, and that 14-6 or 15-5 record that they hoped for last year could very well be an accomplishable goal this winter. Teams all around the NEC graduated a bunch of seniors last year, including undefeated state champion Danvers and conference champion Lynn English. Salem seems to have improved, and they moved down into Marblehead's side of the conference. so a big opening game with them could set the tone for the season. I spoke with an always energized and clean-shaven Coach Giardi about what he has seen and liked from the guys so far in practices and scrimmages, and I spoke to the seniors from the team, including Teddy Bosley, who sees more focus from his teammates in practice this year, which he hopes turns into focus when they need it late in games.
Right now we're looking pretty well. We have a lot of guys that are working hard in practice and really hustling. Last year we had some guys that, in practice, they didn't give it 100%, but now we have a lot of guys that want to work hard and it looks good for the season.
That's good. And you guys were a middle-tier team last year. How can you improve, and what are the things you're looking to improve on as a team?
We really need to improve on situational basketball. Last year we lost a lot of games that were very close, so we need to make sure we close out those really close games.
Make some foul shots.
Yes.
All right, Sam, what have you been doing as a senior to get these guys ready to go?
Biggest thing I've been doing this year is communicating with them. We have a lot of underclassmen, a lot of sophomores and juniors that haven't played a lot of varsity minutes. So the biggest thing I do is just talk to them, help them in any way I can to improve them over the year.
Thanks, Sam.
No problem.
And Ian, what are the team goals this year? You got it to the tournament. What's the bigger goal this year?
Obviously to get farther in the tournament, the second, third round, and just keep improving every year.
A lot of energy this year. We're very young. We have 8 juniors on the team. Not a lot of varsity experience, but that's also good for us because nobody's assuming that they have a starting role. Nobody's assuming what their position is going to be. And we have a lot of interchangeable parts, which means we're going to be exciting. We're going to run up and down the floor. A lot of athletes this year, so it should be good.
What can the team improve on to make it an easier road for themselves to get back to the postseason?
We did some really good things last year, but we didn't finish a lot of games. We lost several games in overtime, lost several games down the stretch where we didn't finish. We're going to have to do that. We have to have that tenacity, that intensity to put games away. I think we have a lot of kids that come from different sports, a lot of football players that I've worked with, and they know what it takes to win now to get over that hump, and I think you're going to see that this year from us.
And with pressure late in the game and no senior leadership, who can the guys look to lead the team in those situations?
We do have Teddy is our one returning senior that has experience. Ian Cammett as well as Sam Hanscom are the 3 seniors. But we have Patrick Bugler, and Bo Millett are 2 underclassmen that have played a lot. And as I said, we have a ton of guys that have played other sports and have played at the varsity level. So I think that experience is huge for us, and that's going to be the big thing.
And Pat's a pretty good player for you. What are you looking for him this year?
He's got to run the show for us a lot. He's a true point guard. He's able to dish and compete out there. We got some other guys that are going to be behind him that are going to be helping out, but he's got to be the one that kind of leads the way, not just for the team, but for those younger guards as well.
He's got to be the floor general out there, pretty much.
Absolutely has to be. He was young last year, and I think physically he got pushed around a little bit. Now he has that experience mentally. Physically, he's gotten a lot bigger and stronger in terms of putting the work in the weight room, and hopefully, it'll show this year on the court.
Besides Pat and Bo, who are some other younger players, maybe some freshmen if you're carrying them, or sophomores that may make a name for themselves if they see some floor time this year?
As I said, we have the 8 juniors that are going to be on the squad this year. 2 young guys that we've brought up that are sophomores this year. Derek Marino is one, and Anson Clow is another. 2 guys that got a lot of PT in football this year on the varsity squad, and we're looking for them. Their athleticism is huge. Anson's really big, and Derek's just an animal in terms of how he attacks the boards and goes to the rim. So we're looking for some big things from those guys.
And you guys are improved, like you said. I think Swamps gets improved. Salem's in your conference now. Danvers lost some players. So it's kind of been shaken up in the NEC. Who's going to be your biggest competition?
I think when you look at our side, you still have to look at, Salem being moved down into our side of it and Danvers being moved up. I think that's really, an even swap for them. Yeah. They're so athletic. We beat them pretty good last year. Yeah. They had a real bad night shooting. And we opened with them this year. And that's really our focus right now, is getting after that Salem game. I mean, they're going to be a tough team. Fortunately, we're at home, and we got them in our gym, but it's going to be a tough battle.
Hopefully you can get a win in that and start off the season right.
We're hoping to. Last year we struggled a little bit early on in the year. We have to get off on the right foot, and it's so tough because the season can work so quickly. You got to get off on a good foot right away.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck.
The girls' hockey program is another co-op program that Marblehead is a part of during the winter season. The girls were a streaky team last year, with wins and losses coming in bunches. They hope to get some consistency on the ice this year and show other teams what they're made of.
So far, we're looking pretty good. We have played 2 games. We played this past weekend. On Saturday, we played Medford, and we tied 4-4? Yeah, no.
No, 3.
3-3, sorry. 3-3. But Hadley got the tying goal with the last 10 seconds of the game, so that was pretty exciting. We pulled the goalie, and we had 6 skaters out there, and Hadley was able to sneak the puck past the goalie. And then we played Wilmington on Sunday, and we were up 4-2. They snuck 2 quick ones past us, so we ended up tying that game.
All right, 2 ties on your belt. That's not too bad. You're a co-op team, and the 2 teams you mentioned aren't normally in the NEC. So tell me a little bit about the co-op team and the conference that you guys are in.
Okay, so we're a co-op, so that means that we have Marblehead, Swampscott, Hamilton Wenham, and Manchester Essex are all part of our team. We play under Marblehead, but we have girls from all those different schools playing. We have 8 girls from Marblehead, 5 from Swampscott, and the others are from the other schools. But it's exciting. The girls, I know it's kind of neat playing with kids from other towns. They definitely get to broaden their sense of friendships and stuff throughout the North Shore. It's also neat also in the spring and in the fall, they are able to kind of see each other play other different sports when they compete against each other. So there's that component of it, which is pretty cool.
What's it like, Hadley, to play with girls that you don't know right off the bat?
I like it because we're all from like different backgrounds and we all have like different towns because like Marblehead's so different than like Hamilton Wenham. So it's cool, and like we all played on different club teams, so like we all have a different style of playing, and we all kind of just build off of each other and develop that way. So I really like it.
Is it tough to kind of like get that subconscious knowing where your teammates are going to be, like that type of connection with your teammates when the girls are coming from different towns, you don't get to practice with each other as much?
Not really, because well, at first it's a little different, but like now I feel like we're all connecting because we're bonding like off the ice too, so like in the locker room, and we've had a team brunch this past Sunday, so we're all getting to know like our personalities more, and we're all like getting a lot closer.
That's fun. That's really fun. And so you guys had kind of a streaky season last year. You won games in bunches, you lost games in bunches. What can you do to be more consistent this season?
Have to play a full 45 minutes. We can't have any letdowns throughout the game. The past 2 games that we played this past weekend, they scored 2, or each game they scored a quick goal on us. So we got to make sure we start out strong and end strong. That's the biggest thing. We're a fairly young team with 1 senior with Hadley, and then everybody else is younger. So it's just, playing consistently, not having too many highs, not having too many lows, playing a little bit more consistent. And we have to talk. There's a lot of new bodies out there, so people aren't totally sure where everybody's going to be on the ice. So communication's key, and that's the easy thing to do. So,
Hadley, being the only senior on the team, what have you been doing to help fire the girls up, help lead the team?
Well, like we always have a tradition before the game to like all like be silent for a minute and then go around and say like what we're gonna do and what we're gonna work on. So it really like gets us focused before the game, and we all just like get like to focus on like one thing that we're gonna do in the game.
Well, that's good that they have somebody to look up to, and you're a confident leader, which is nice. To win this tough conference, you're gonna need to build the confidence as the season goes along. Who's gonna be the team to beat? Who can you knock off to gain some confidence going through the season?
I would say 2 big teams in our conference would be Beverly and Winthrop. Every year it's a battle when we play those schools, and it's just, those are the big rivalry schools. You always want to play your best game when you come out against them, and there's usually a good crowd for those games, so it's pretty exciting.
We were unable to catch up with the gymnastics team or the boys hockey team this week, but we hope to talk to them on a future edition of Headliner. The MHTV sports crew has the season covered this winter, bringing you boys and girls basketball, boys and girls hockey, as well as swimming and wrestling meets. Check the weekly MHTV program schedule in the Marblehead Reporter or on our website, marbleheadtv.org, for dates and times. As always, we'd like to thank National Grand Bank for being our community partner in bringing you MHS Sports on MHTV. And new this season, be sure you stay tuned to the end of each game for the announcement of the Marblehead Fitness Center Player of the Game. And that wraps up the Winter Sports Preview edition of Headliner. John Caswell returns next week with Chris Stevens and Will Dowd of the Marblehead Reporter for our annual Year in Review special. Have a good week. We'll see you next time.